Hello, this is Steve Sanangelo from the SRS Rocket Report, once again doing a new YouTube video. Today it's going to be titled Silver Investment and Price Update as of September 27th. It is on Sunday, right as the opening of the Asian trading. I'm also going to talk about what I believe silver and gold, which are going to have a major move in 2021. We may see a continued consolidation over the next several months, but several analysts and I agree that I think we're going to see a major move in the metals in 2021. All right, let's get started. Now, back on September 11th, I started showing you what was happening with the silver versus the US dollar. This is the daily chart. We see the dollar right here, and then the silver price is in the blue line. And as I stated, that when the silver price shot up, it then started to consolidate in this symmetrical triangle. And as the dollar sold off, when the silver price moved up, we could see the US dollar was setting up in what they call a bullish flag. And then when it broke above it, it was interesting to see what was going to happen next. And on the next update, which was on September 18th, we see a similar pattern. Now, there are two things happening. We've got the technicals, which show the short-term price action in silver and gold. And then there are the mid to longer term fundamentals. I am very bullish on the long-term fundamentals of silver. I think and gold, they're going to get better as time goes on. And that's due to the energy issues, as I've been talking about, as well as the Fed and central banks propping up the markets with more monetary printing and liquidity. Now, in the next week, what we see, silver continues to consolidate in the symmetrical triangle, and now it's touched it 6 times. So to me, the technicals were saying that it was going to break below it. And I said, if that was the case, the dollar would shoot up and it would probably go up to this 94.5 level, which is right here at the resistance level back in March. And that's exactly what happened. So we could see the dollar shot up to this 94.5 level, and it closed on Friday at 94.68. Now, I knew silver was going to show a correction, but I didn't think it would be this hard and this fast. But unfortunately, or fortunately, that's silver for you. It's very volatile on the way up and on the way down. Now, we could see that now silver actually went all the way down to 22, but on a daily basis, it closed right above 23, right when the dollar closed at this 94.5 level. Now, in my newest update at the SRSRockReport.com website for silver and gold members, this is for gold members, I spent 6 hours today putting together a new extensive video on the silver, gold, and the US dollar. There's over 16 charts in this update, and I've got the daily chart, the weekly chart, monthly and quarterly, going back all the way to 1971. Now, because it took so much time to put this together, if you become a gold member at the SRS Rock Report, you could check it out. And now what's interesting, the quarterly chart for silver and gold, even though we're seeing a correction now in the metals, the quarterly chart, there's a technical indicator that shows we are setting up, we are basing for a big move in 2021. So if you'd like to check that out, please go to the SRS Rock Report and become a gold member. Now, I did want to show the YouTube viewers something very interesting is taking place between silver and copper. Now, silver is also known as an industrial metal. A lot of analysts say that silver is more an industrial metal. There's some gold analysts that think that gold is the only monetary metal. Silver now is just an industrial metal. And I disagree. I actually think silver is just as good as a monetary metal as gold, and it's even better because the price is so much lower. It takes 100 times less energy to produce an ounce of silver than gold. So I think silver is going to outperform gold in the mid to long term. But if you look at the short term, several people have asked me to do an update. This is on the COT report. Each color represents the COT report each week. And in the last one, Silver fell $2.73 from Tuesday to Tuesday right here. And there was a 2,800 net short reduction in the short positions, net short positions. But we could see we had a continued sell-off. So in the next week, it'll be interesting to see what the net short positions, if we have more liquidation. Now, this is the COT report, an update for September 22nd. Again, that's the close on Tuesday. So we could see that the net short positions declined about 2,800. The price fell $2.73 in that week. But if we go back, again, go back to the end of February, we're going to see the middle of February that the price of silver was $18.15 with the net short positions of 100,000. So we're still $6, almost $6.50 higher with the net short position at 53,000. Now, if we look at the price performance of copper and silver right before the market started to get into turmoil, and they were about the same. If we go back to the third week of March 18th, both gold and silver and copper were at the same area. And we could see that silver sold off more than copper. But even though we had the big correction in silver, silver is up 30.2% since the third week of March, whereas copper is only up 14.3%. So silver shot up more than gold and copper, and it sold off more, but it's still up double in percentage terms than copper. But this is where it gets interesting. Now, when copper was $2.15 back at the, let's say, at the end of February, in the beginning of March, before the big sell-off in the markets, the commercials were actually net long 40,000, and they're in red. So they went from being short copper to being long copper. And over the next 6-7 months, when copper has gone up to $2.97, the commercials are now net short. They went from being net long 40,000 to being net short 70,000. That is 110,000 move change in the positions. So if we look at this chart here, again, this is not the price performance of copper and silver. This is the price itself. So here, copper went from about 215 all the way up to 297. The commercials were net long 40,000, and now they're net short 70,000. Now, silver was about $18 at this point, and the commercials were net short 100,000 contracts in silver. Now, with silver being at 24 at the time of the COT report, they were net short 53,000. So this is the difference. And I think we're going to see a big sell-off in the copper price. Now, the commercials would not be net short 70,000 contracts if they thought the copper price was going to continue higher. So again, we have almost a 50% reduction in the commercial net short positions for silver, but we have a huge increase in the commercial net short positions for copper. So going back, we can see that silver is in a much better situation. It's almost in half its net short positions compared to copper. Copper is now 70,000 net short positions. So if we're going to look at industrial metal, it's not silver that's in trouble, it's copper to me that's in trouble. And I do believe we're going to see continued weakness in the fourth quarter and into 2021. So that's not good news for copper. So I disagree. I think silver is going to outperform the market in 2021. Now, a few weeks ago, I did an article called there was something big happened in the silver market. And this was from the Silver Member article. It was actually a video. And what happened the US imported 531 metric tons of silver in June, right before the price took off. And we could see compared to the same month last year, it was only 217 metric tons. So the price of silver didn't start taking off in June 2020. It really started to take off in July. So it seemed as if there were some hedge funds, some entities that were positioning themselves for the move, and it was a huge increase in silver bullion imports into the US. Now, what's interesting, I just did a new update for July. Breaking all records, US silver bullion imports surge in June and then explode in July. So if you think that the imports increased a lot in June, it's amazing how much they increased in July. And what's even more interesting, the country where we received the most silver imports, I would never guessed. It wasn't the UK from London, the LBMA. It wasn't from Mexico. Those are normally our two biggest sources of silver bullion imports. So if you want to check out that video, that is at the SRS Rock Report for silver members. I also wanted to let you know, if you go to the SRS Rock Report, that I did an interview with Charlotte at Investing News Network. It's about gold and silver to benefit as energy issues emerge. It's about a 25-minute interview. I think you can learn a lot if you check out that interview. It's also, again, at the SRS Rock Report website. Well, in conclusion, I do believe we could see a bounce in silver and gold because they had such a large correction over the last week. Normally they retest, and I explain that in my update on the website. But that's just a short term. In the long term, we're setting up for a major move in the precious metals next year. So thank you once again for joining me at the SRS Rock Report YouTube channel. And if you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Thank you.